Hi divers again, it's Alec Pierce from Scuba 2000 with another tech tip. Some ideas that might make your diving a little easier, a little more fun, and maybe a little safer too. I was a little lost when I decided on this topic. Not really, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about compasses, things to keep you from getting lost. Most divers agree, and you'll learn in your training programs, be it to open water, advanced, or later programs, that a compass is a good idea. And it is a good idea to have a compass. Occasionally, you need a compass to figure out where you are. You don't want to pop at the surface. You want to find your way back to the shore, or back to where the boat, wherever it happens to be. And if you have an idea where you are and you have a compass in your hand, you can often do that. It's called underwater navigation. In fact, there's a complete course on underwater navigation, the PADI certification program. One even have classes and some dives, and it's a whole lot of fun. You become an expert on compasses. But before you get to that point, let's talk about compasses, the actual instruments themselves. What should you look at? What's available? And so on. Let me see if I can help you there. Traditionally, an underwater or diver's compass looked something like this. It was a compass. It's a pretty standard compass, like the one you would have used in Boy Scouts or Guides. It has a rotating bezel and rotating dial, of course, there's north, south, east, and west, and a whole bunch of numbers on it. And they're fairly rugged, more rugged than you would find in your local hiking shop. These are dive compasses made to withstand a little bit of abuse, and also underwater, waterproof if you like, and also pressure proof as well, because the container is filled with oil, so it won't collapse when you're under pressure. It comes with a very durable, heavy rubber strap, and traditionally what would happen is you'd strap this onto your arm like this, and then off you go. If you needed to refer to your compass, then you would hold your arm up like so, and looking at the compass, decide, okay, north is that way, and off you would go. Most modern compasses, in fact, almost all now, have a side window like this. So you don't have to be worried too much about keeping it level or too much about the numbers. You look through the side, you can read the direction in which you're swimming. Pretty straightforward. Not perfect, because if any of you have ever tried to swim with a compass, using a wrist compass like so, it's difficult to keep going in a straight line because your hand is too close to keep it straight. So you're like this, you tend to make a left-hand turn as you swim any length of distance. However, it is certainly better than nothing. I just wanted to talk about some different ways of mounting the compass. Mounting it on your wrist maybe isn't perfect, because you probably have a suit on of some sort, maybe a pair of gloves, and then the compass, and does the compass go over or under, and it can be a little bit of a nuisance. Eventually, what will happen is, I don't need the compass, and you leave it behind. Of course, Murphy's Law, that's the day you get lost and you need the compass. So having a wrist mount compass isn't always a perfect solution. Interestingly enough, this particular model is kind of neat because you can take the strap off, and then if you have a console, a regular console, and pretty much most divers do have a console showing their pressure and their depth, and you can take this compass, and with these neat gadgets, let me just quickly do this for you, you can actually take this compass and you can mount it onto the hose. Special heavy-duty clips. They snap down into place, and look at that. Now you've got your pressure gauge, depth gauge, and compass on the one neat little unit. You pick the hose up and look through the side, and off you go. It sort of keeps the compass out of the way a little bit on your console when it's neat and ready. In fact, manufacturers have now done that automatically. If you have a lot of consoles, be it a computer-style console like this one or not, will actually have the compass built in. So now you can look at your pressure and your depth and your compass all at one time. Pretty handy this way. Compass sticks on the end. Another way, because you don't use a compass very often, another way to mount the compass is on a recoil device. So this could attach to your buoyancy compensator, or I often suggest that people clip it inside their BC. When you need it, unzip it, pull it out, and voila. Now, in this particular style, you can hold it in front of you and swim in a very, very straight line. It's not always possible if you have the compass on your wrist or even on a console. So there's some different ways that you can mount the compass. Compasses are not expensive, $75 to $100 for a good quality compass and a boot of some sort. You might be interested to know, and I think some of you probably are, that you can also get electronic compasses. If you're computerized, and I'm assuming most of you are now, it's a good idea, then you will find that some computers actually offer a built-in compass. They're okay, they work. Here's a typical wrist mount compass. Now here you'll see the problems as I attempt to show you how the compass works. First of all, let's put it into dive mode. Pretty straightforward. So depth and time and air pressure, of course, doesn't show. We're not hooked up to a tank right now. And then by holding this button, you can actually switch this to compass. There's your compass. And as I slowly rotate my wrist, it shows the direction in degrees, and it shows with an arrow whether I'm going north, south, east, and west. Some problems are obvious. Number one, it's small. If you're old like me and have weaker than than new eyes, it might be a little hard to read. There's a built-in light. You can press the light and get a little bit of light, which helps a little bit. Another practical problem with this is that when you have it on compass, you can't see your depth of pressure. So it's not perfect, as none of these particular systems are. But it is kind of neat, and it does work reasonably well. There have been some problems with the electronic compass getting close to metal things, whether it's in some cases it's actually metal in the surrounding area, shipwrecks and so on. They don't work as well, but they are a pretty neat idea. So there you go, compasses. Let me add one more thing. If you're like most divers, you might use a compass once in 25 dives. In fact, if you used it once in 25, that's probably more than normal. The point is, you don't have to have a big, expensive compass. You don't have to have it out in your face all the time. You simply need to have one available. So when that 25th or 26th or 35th dive comes along, you do need the compass, you do have one. But it's not something that has to be readily available, like pressure or depth or something else. Anyway, I hope this has helped a little bit, shared some information with you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate on YouTube to send your questions, and I'm always happy to help. Alec Pierce, Tech Tips, and I hope you don't lose your way.